Welcome to the Green and Gold Weekly at thegruelingtruth.net, where the legends speak. I'm Joe Pritchard, along with Don Horn. And Don, wow.
That was a great game. It was a very exciting game, and like we were talking, the right team came out on top in the end. I was getting a little concerned there for a while once as Danny Don Meredith used to say, Mr. Momentum would walk from one side of the field to the other side from time to time, and it was definitely apparent, down there in Dallas the other night.
And at the end, you didn't know which way that bugger was going to go, did you?
No. No.
Oh, my goodness. Well, let's start with the good stuff here. Packers got off to gave up a field goal on the opening drive, but then started scoring points in bunches. Yep,
they did. They kind of had complete control of it for a while. Then they went to sleep a little bit. And Dallas is a great team. They have a doggone good football team, and they found some weaknesses in that. In our defense in the secondary, especially with our cornerbacks being hurt and going down, and they took advantage of it, and they came back strong. They wouldn't die. They just wouldn't lay down and die. And our offense had to come back and finally put it to bed in the end. Aaron, I can't say enough about him. He's so, I guess, he's so calculating. We're talking about Aaron and talking about Brett Favre. Brett was a great quarterback. He seemed to do a lot of unorthodox things at an inopportune time and get away with it. Great athlete or whatever. Aaron kind of does the same thing, but he's more calculating, it appears. I think he's got more control. He kind of knows and predicts and has the confidence. He knows something good is going to come out of what he's planning, what he's thinking, I think. So I just love to watch him, and everybody else does too.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, so the Packers got up to three straight touchdowns, went up 21-3.
18-point lead.
Yeah, Cowboys punched back, but then scored 10 points of their own to end the first half, but the Packers came right out of the gates in the second half and went up 28-13 and stayed that way until the fourth quarter. And then it felt like death by 1,000 cuts because, again, and this has been a problem, not only this season, but over the past few seasons, when the Packers have those big leads, sometimes they will let them slip away. Yeah,
that's true. That's kind of been the knock on McCarthy, too, and the approach that they have offensively. And I was kind of like you. It was kind of shades of Seattle a few years ago, and they blew that lead out in Seattle in the end. In that game out there, I'm going, oh no, not again. I just couldn't see it happening, and then boom, things started clicking again, and God, it was just exciting. It was a great game. I mean, it was a fantastic game. The fans on both teams have nothing to be ashamed of, and a great game, just a great game, and then Cook making that catch. I mean, it was number one. It was a great effort on Aaron's part in the end there. With 3 seconds left, scramble around there and throwing to his left, turning his body and throwing it downfield, put it right on target, and then Cook making that fantastic catch. With his ankles and his feet, to stay in bounds. It just, and my hat's off to the head linesman. I think that called that, a completed pass. That was a great call by him. And what I understand is Cook hurt. Is he out this week with his ankle? Did he hurt it on that play? I wonder. I don't know, but he just made a great catch at a great time.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what it took, if we're going to lose him for a week because of it, I think just about every Packer fan would still take it. I haven't heard myself whether he's going to be in or out, but I'm hoping he's in because he was Aaron's best friend this past week.
Yeah. And I hear rumors that that Jordy he's still quite, he might be back, but I don't know, with those broken ribs, those are hard to come back by. And then I also see that Montgomery Ty, is he ill or something? He's not feeling well, I understand.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's gone by the weekend, that's for sure.
Yeah. And those are the injury reports that come out midweek or whatever. And sometimes, I don't know, especially this time of season, I don't put a whole lot of, who knows, sometimes I think some of these teams have to put something out there just to have somebody talk about something or write about something. But I think they'll be ready Sunday.
Just a tiny bit in this direction here and there, too.
Exactly. So, yeah, great game. I mean, Cowboy fans have to be just shaking their head, going, "What does it take? What is it going to take to, to get over the hump against the green and gold?" They just can't figure it out. And
I'm glad it's them asking that question instead of us. That was us 20 years ago.
I know there was a lull there for a long time, wasn't there?
There was in the 90s. It felt like we went to Dallas twice every year and lost twice every year.
Yeah. So, what as somebody said, Aaron's won. Aaron and the Packers have won more playoff games down there in Dallas than since Jerry Jones has built his new resort down there, the new stadium.
Yeah.
So.
The Mayhav, yeah. That seems about right to me.
Yeah. I just hope now they're ready for they're ready for this Sunday. That's going to be a barnstorming game this Sunday with both offensive teams as hot as they are.
Yeah, I'm not one to notice the gambling lines too often because I have enough problems keeping my composure when it's just me rooting on my own team. But I was hearing that the over/under on this one is somewhere in the realm of 60 to 61 points, which is by far which is the highest that they've ever had for a playoff game. And
I think so. But
I think we're going to see the scoreboard lit up all game long.
I think you may be right because you got two great offenses. That offense that they have down there in Atlanta is pretty hot offense. With those quick passes. In some ways, it kind of reminds me of the St. Louis Rams in the late '90s and 2000. The greatest show on turf. With those quick, the one-step drop, the three-step drop, those quick passes hitting those receivers going upfield and stuff like that Ryan does so well. They kind of hit you so quick, and with our defense,
definite problem for the defense. Yes, quick hitters over the middle have just
I'm concerned about that. And our two starting cornerbacks are down, and I'm just. Like I said, it should be a barn burner for sure. Offensively, both defenses, have their weaknesses and stuff. So I think both offenses could take advantage of it, and hopefully not. But it could go down again to the team that has the ball, right at the end of the game. It's going to probably be the team that's going to win the game. It could be that close.
I'm hoping for a few less heart-stopping moments. I had my fill of those this past weekend. Everybody did. I tell you, you're screaming, you're yelling, and you can't believe what you saw. And then just, all of a sudden, then a great play. Then again, a game of mistakes. At the end, you see a mistake, a stupid mistake, and you go, oh, why, how could that happen or whatever. That's what it is. It's a game of mistakes, and then you have to bounce back and come back from those mistakes. Like the one pick, the one pick that Aaron had. That could just easily been a touchdown, but he just, he didn't necessarily misread it, but he saw an opportunity there and he put it out there and he just kind of underthrew it and didn't throw it far enough over the outside shoulder or whatever, and it was picked off downfield. And if they would have scored on that drive, they'd have really, I think, been in complete control. But it's just one of those crazy things that happened. But to have 24 touchdown passes, I believe, and one NIT, it's just amazing. The hot streak that Aaron's on right now, and the whole offense. The team they're playing good football. Run the table, and like I said, I hope to see them down in Houston. 2.5 weeks. You're one game away from getting your wish.
That's right. One more game. One more game, and I'm
going to be the final one for the Georgia Dome, which is 25 years old at this point. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in that stadium, and you maybe have. There's nothing wrong with that stadium. There's nothing wrong with the Georgia Dome, but why do they have to build that new one right next door? What, the Mercedes, whatever? Just, I don't know. Just, I mean,
well, here's the other ridiculous thing about Atlanta too. They built the Olympic Stadium, turned it into a baseball stadium. Now they're going to turn that into a football stadium for the college, and build a new baseball stadium out in the suburbs. And they're building stadiums. It's just like they're building stadiums every couple of years, it seems like.
Yeah. It's like, I know they've had at least three baseball stadiums for the Braves. Yeah, you're right. And there's nothing wrong with the facility that they're in. It's just, I don't know. It's just a waste of money, and it's egos and whatever. Yeah. And and then we got the sacred ground. You got the sacred ground at Lambeau. It's kind of dormant this time of year, because we have to go on the road. But we'll take the show on the road. We'll take the show on the road.
For sure. I mean, that's how it happened in 2010 as well.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole time.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be something that was a repeat of that?
Just about. Yeah. That would be that same record, same feel to it.
Yeah.
The Packers had to rally late in the season. We got one home game in the playoffs this year, but other than that, it's feeling pretty much like deja vu, and I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, it's funny. I heard a prediction about a week and a half ago, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, and somebody said, he said his pick were the Packers and the Steelers in the Super Bowl. And he called that like 2 weeks ago. So who knows? Maybe they know something I don't know. But anyway, we got to
hope.
Yeah. we got to get past and that's going to be a big test for us. That offense down there. I guess Kyle Shanahan, and I've known Mike Shanahan for years, and heck, I used to, I've known Kyle. First met him, and he's about 8, 9, 10 years old out here, skiing in the mountains and stuff. But the kid has come a long way offensively. He's a pretty good offensive-minded kid, and he's up. I believe he's up for maybe the 49er job right now. But he sure done some great things with that offense down in Atlanta. And I just hope our defense is ready. And Matthews is, I guess he's kind of questionable too. I understand. Clay.
Yeah, he was invisible in Dallas.
Yeah. And that one play was it that running back ran, didn't run through him, but just ran right past him. He was kind of, he tried to arm tackle him, and boom, Ezekiel. I think he scored on that play.
Yeah, Clay had about as much luck catching Elliott on that play as he did catching the fly on the State Farm commercial. He
was. Yeah, he's throwing himself around, but he's throwing himself in the wrong direction in a lot of ways. Yeah, so. But,
let's hope that he bounces back off of that. It's been a rough season for him, I feel like.
Yeah, those little minor injuries can really kind of slow you down a step or half a step, and it's just. One thing after another. You get healed on one thing, and something else goes south on you, and you just got to keep plugging away. But they're down to the big one now. They're down to the championship game, and I think we're going to be ready for it. I'm sure the coaching staff is going to have them ready and get ready for an offensive slugfest, I think.
Yeah, now they did play the Falcons, I believe, in Atlanta earlier this season in a 33-32 loss, but they were missing Montgomery. I feel like they were missing another receiver as well. They were missing a bunch of their defensive pieces. They were really beat up when they faced Atlanta the first time. So have you ever been in a team that's that's had a rematch in the playoffs against a team that you've lost to earlier that season?
Yeah, well, the year, and they used to say too,
the Rams,
well, the Rams for sure. That was one of them for sure. We lost to them like 2 or 3 weeks earlier, 2 weeks earlier, I believe, or something like that. A couple of weeks earlier out in LA, then we come back and beat them in Milwaukee. It's like two different teams, 2 different games, but. They always say during the season that if you're going to play these teams a couple of times and you're going to have to lose one, you want to lose one during the season. You don't want to lose one in the playoffs. So, if we're going to lose one against the Atlanta Falcons, we've already done it. We don't plan on doing it again, so it's our turn now. So we're going to put them to bed this Sunday. That's where we have to look at it. So.
Yeah, back to our deja vu of 2010 for a moment. The Packers did indeed lose to the Falcons that regular season too, and came back and just annihilated them in the playoffs. So let's hope for a repeat of that as well while we're at it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with you 100% on that, Joe. Yeah.
All right. Well, we gotta hope that Julio Jones will slow down. It sounds like he's been dealing with some injuries as well, so that will help the Packers somewhat. But they've got a lot of speed receivers to do with, and they did not do such a good job the first time around. Now, it's probably far too late to do anything different scheme-wise as far as where you're putting guys, who's covering who. You just got to hope that the guys execute just a little bit better this time around, wouldn't you say?
Exactly. I agree 100%. Julio, he's in a class by himself. I mean, it's just amazing, that offense and how good he is when he's running on all cylinders. And again, that offense concerns me. It really does, Joe, because they're hot and they're clicking on all cylinders. And I was kind of impressed how they did. They just they cut up Seattle. They totally controlled that game in Seattle, especially after an opening kickoff when Seattle went down to score. And I went, because I thought Seattle was a pretty good team and they were a sleeper. And I thought that game might go Seattle's way early on, and all of a sudden Atlanta came back and just sliced and diced them up. They just ruled it, and with that offense they had, they just cut that defense to shreds. Of course, they don't, that defense wasn't as strong as it has been in the past. And again, we're not either. Our defense isn't as strong as it should be, and so I'm a little bit concerned. And like I said, Julio and Matt Ryan and the crew they have down there. Freeman and those guys, it's going to be a barn burner. It's going to be a barn burner, and we have to be ready for it.
Yeah, but like you're saying, it's a game of mistakes, and if they make a couple, that might open the door for Rodgers and crew to put it away. Yep,
and it's a game of mistakes, and the mistakes will be made. It's just a question of who's going to make them and when, and that's why every player, all 11 people, when you're on that field, you have to, like I said, there's maybe 4 or 5 or 6 plays in the game that might determine the outcome of the game, and you never know when those plays are coming. So therefore, every play of the game, the 70 or 80 plays total, special teams included, you have to play each play like it's one of those key half a dozen plays that's going to determine the outcome of the game, and you got to give it 100, 110%. You can't go to sleep. You can't make a mistake. You got to be mentally tough and ready. And at this level, both teams are. You don't see Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta's a pretty good team. They're pretty disciplined or whatever. You don't see those guys taking off and heading down to Miami like the Giants did a couple of weeks ago.
No, that you sure don't. And we didn't hear anything about that with Dallas either. And over the years, they've been prone to plenty of distractions, but this year they seem to have battened down the hatches, and it was just took everything the Packers had to get by them. Yeah, and
we're going to be ready. It's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a shootout. The gunfight at the OK Corral. You got 2 gunslingers out there going after it. With a good support staff, and it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun to watch. So.
Yeah. I don't think there's much more to say about this, do you?
Yeah. Again, we got to get some holy water again. Throw it in the right direction and make sure the green and gold come out on top, which I think they will. I think there's kind of there's a swagger about our guys, and they just find a way to do it. I tell you, when Crosby got up and kicked that field goal right down the middle, and they called timeout, just and he kicked that thing, and went, oh my gosh, I hope this isn't the kiss of death. He's got to kick it again. How far was that field goal? 56. The first one he did the tie.
The first one was 56 to give him the lead, and Dallas came back with a 52, and then Crosby hit from 51 twice.
Yeah, that's where he hit the one to 51 twice. I went, gosh, I mean, And then just fantastic. What a way. It's just an exciting game to watch. And, this one could be much the same. But again, we have to score early and we have to score often. That's my credo. That's my credo. Score early and score often. And
yeah. Don Coryell would be proud, wouldn't he?
You got it. So, but our cornerbacks, I'm kind of worried about them. You got any feel for that? Are they going to be ready to handle these guys, Julio and the crew?
I think what it's going to come down to, honestly, is whether our corners or even our safeties can make one big play. If they can give us one big play, I think that'll be enough.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's going to have to be, honestly.
Yeah, I tell you, I just, we'll find a way to get it ready. We'll find it ready, and I hope Jared Cook's back. If we're not at 100% physically, we're going to be 100% mentally, and that's what it is. It's a game of least amount of mistakes, and then sometimes those little aches and pains go away on a Sunday afternoon when it's a big game like this. And so, I hope Montgomery and Matthews and Cook can be ready pretty much 100% or close to it, because we're going to need everybody. We're going to need everything we got to throw at them, and come out on top.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. We're going to need from everybody and as much as we can get from everybody.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, we got the one. We had the 1 point loss against them, earlier in the season, but I think this game, it could be close. I don't know. Everybody says it could be close. Like I said, 60 over under 60, 61, something like that. And I believe most of the odds makers are picking the Falcons. I think pretty much because they're home. They always say playing at home is anywhere. It's probably about a 5 or 6 point. It's worth 5 or 6 points if you're playing at home, so to speak. And I think that's about what the spread is right now, about a touchdown or close to it. So, but we were underdogs last week too, I believe, and we came out on top. And I think we're going to do it again. Like Aaron says, relax. I had
to remind myself to do that about 10 or 15 times over the last quarter and a half last week.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's so easy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a barn burner for sure, and everybody's talking about it. It's gonna be a barn burner. So, and hopefully when we get together next week, we'll be talking about the Packers getting ready to head down to Houston for the big one, big number 51.
Yeah, that's the hope, and generally about as confident as it was last week that it will happen. Not too confident, but confident enough that I'm feeling okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap this edition of the Green and Gold Weekly up here at the GreenTruth.net with Legend Speak. I'm Joe Pritchard with Don Horn, and we'll talk to you next week, win or lose.